Hey everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel, God Will Do It For You. My name is Steven, and I hope everyone's having a great week so far. And what we're going to be talking about today is the lesson that God keeps bringing back. What I've learned this past week of just giving more time in between the videos so that way I can learn more and be able to give you more within the time frame of the video is that during this rough season, God has been allowing me to repeat a certain situation over and over and over. For example, so everybody knows the information about the money getting tight all of a sudden this past May. If you don't, it's in other videos. But with that, every time one of the main bills came up, one of the larger amounts, internally, anxiety starts to raise. I start getting really restless. I'm like, I don't know how we're going to make it. And then somehow, some way, we get to proceed forward and get to the next. So then it calms down, and then we get to the next one, and I'm like, oh my God, there's not enough money. How are we going to do it? And then somehow, some way, we're able to continue to proceed forward without, things getting cut off, losing our place, anything like that. And so after it happened about maybe 3 or 4 times, I know you're probably thinking like, come on, man. Nah, it's not as easy as it sounds. But after about the 4th time, I started to think, okay, this is happening over and over now. So now I'm starting to recognize exactly what's going on. And just to give you the analogy, let's picture yourself walking on a balance beam. And let's say one section of the balance beam, you're able to walk with 2 feet side by side. And then as you walk forward, the balance beam narrows, and now you have to walk 1 foot one of the other. So now you're going 1 foot in front of the other, and Jesus is in front of you. And he's like, come on, let's go. And you're like, man, this is really tight. Like one gust of wind, and we're going to fall off this cliff, and we're dead. And Jesus is like, don't worry, I'll calm the wind, I got you. And so as you're walking, now all of a sudden you see these obstacles, and you see the wind getting crazy, and you're like, we're not going to make it. I'm about to die. And so that's how the situation felt internally, because this is something I've never experienced in my life. I've never had a situation like this in my life to where I can be like, okay, this is, because of me being irresponsible is why I'm in a situation. No, I'm very responsible. But what I was looking at was, okay, what God has wanted me to do in these situations is once I've done all that I could do, and this may seem like common knowledge, but when you're in the circumstance itself, it's easier said than done. But what he wants me to do is to fully trust him. So if he says, I'm going to take you to the other side, like he did with Peter, he didn't say there wasn't going to be obstacles, it wasn't going to look scary, this and that. He just said, we're going to get there. And so it's the same thing for me. It's like God is like, while I have you in this transition season, it's going to look scary. But your faith is little, and that's why you keep freaking out like Peter did, but he sank right into the water as soon as he saw the obstacle. So he had the faith to follow Jesus, which was good, and then so Jesus threw an element at him. And the element of surprise is exactly what it was to Peter. He did not know how. He was like, oh snap, and he sunk immediately. And Jesus had to save him, and then he calmed the sea. Just to show them that I got this. I just need you to have the faith to focus on me and keep walking forward no matter what your circumstances look like. And so once I understood this, I just had a situation, a bill that's due today. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to panic this week. I'm going to, I don't like the situation. I want out of this, but I'm not going to panic. And sure enough, it's not, we're able to proceed forward without anything being affected in my personal life. And so that immediately said, okay, God is putting us through tests in life. If you find yourself feeling like your situation isn't improving, you're like, it's been bad for a long time, this and that. That's because God's letting you learn the hard way. He's letting you learn the lesson. And then once you get to the mindset to where you're like, okay, I got it now, then he'll test you again. You pass the test, you get to proceed forward. You get to get out of it. It's pretty simple. The issue is if you aren't recognizing that he's has you in a season where he wants you to get out, but because of a lack of faith or because you're not recognizing what's going on, you're standing there longer than expected, just like the Israelites. The Israelites, all they had to do was go in there and take the land. Now, as they were in the process to get to the final lap, per se, they got to see God do miracles. They got to see him part the Red Sea. They got to see him clean dirty water. They got to see him take care of them through the wilderness and take them around dangerous environments that they weren't ready to navigate through and things of that nature. They saw all this, and it's almost similar to like me. I've seen like my whole car insurance bill got paid for the whole year, and I can't find out who did it. My phone bill got paid. It just disappeared. You know, he put somebody in my life that could help me in a time of need to give me the ability to earn provision in a different environment. So he's showing me that as I'm taking you through this wilderness, I'm showing you, allowing you to experience me. He's probably saying to himself, I don't understand why you're even concerned or fearful or the anxiety is beating you up, because I've shown you enough that you should have the confidence to move forward way more secure in your mind and your heart and your soul than what you are. So what he'll do is he'll let you keep toiling in the experience until you get it. The Israelites, instead of them being obedient, he just made them wait, because he's like, I'm going to make you wait 40 years. And at that point, let's see if you're ready. And then trust me, once that time clock hit, they were like, you know what? We need to go in there and get it. See, now they had enough time of, dealing with the crap. Like, you know what? Life got to be better than this. Eating the same thing, being limited. And sometimes that being limited like that, it will crush you enough to the point where your mind shifts and you be like, we're capable of doing it. Like, we're tired of this. Is this it? Do you really want this to be it for us? We can get that. If God said we can get it, if he just took care of us out here for 40 years with nothing out here in the desert, no, we can get that. So it's the same thing for you in your life. One thing God is showing me, that I can end this. I could shift your season when I know that you're ready. When I know that you've trusted me. When I know that you're doing exactly what I'm asking you to do, being obedient to my instructions, because now that he's pushed me into content creation for food, and now that I see that the numbers are the results they're not normal. I put it that way. They're jumping up a lot sooner than any page that I look and do strategically that would. It lets me know that, okay, if he opens a door, he has to make sure that I'm not going to turn my back on him. And that even if he opens a door and obstacles start to arise, I won't cower in fear. That I will keep moving forward and pressing forward like I have been doing this season. The whole point of what God is wanting us to do is to be prepared for what's coming. And this is where it's going to get deep. So if you stayed this long, congratulations. God is preparing us for this shift that's getting ready to happen. So y'all all see how all of a sudden content creation, podcasters and things like that just boom, it exploded. Now, if you look at all these people's history, they've been doing this stuff in the background for years. They've been working on this stuff for years. Now the spotlight is on them. So now they're reaping the harvest. God does this with us all the time. So if you're like, it's been hard for years, I've just been working towards this. But if you just been working a job and that's it, then, well, what do you expect? But if you've been working towards something that is outside of the scope of what you do, so let's say a hobby, a side business, a business, whatever the case, if you've been working on it, and if you keep working on it, when this AI shift comes, you're going to be that person that is now reaping because you sowed during your dry period. Well, so it's a cycle. Right now, the people that are getting, they're going to get it. They put in the work, they're going to get it. There's nothing you can do. Even the people with the more seasoned pages or the more experienced individuals that go on these platforms and things like that, they're going to get their share because they've planted. So now they're reaping. We need to sow. So that way when God hits that switch and you start to reap, you'll understand why you've had to go through all that you had to go through. So that way you won't cower when you start to get persecuted for you being successful. AI is coming. And I don't think the country knows that 30 to 35% of the jobs will be eliminated before 2030. People don't even realize what's getting ready to happen. You need to be prepared. and preparing now. Do not wait. If you are in a particular job and you look at this video, look at how AI is going to affect your job. If it says it won't affect it, you're good. Keep doing what you do. But if it says that, yes, it's going to make this and that more efficient, things like that, you need to pay attention and start planning now. Do not wait, because one day people are going to wake up and they're going to say, don't come back to work. Your job is gone. Then you have thousands of people now sitting there wondering how we're going to have bills paid. Things are going to get different and change out here before it gets better. So we need to prepare now so that way we're not blindsided then. And that's all I have. Learn the lessons that God is teaching you now, so that way you can be prepared later and handle what he's going to give you later, so that way you can be a blessing to others like people are doing now. That is it. He's going to use these people now that are in the limelight. There's nothing nobody can do about it. They're going to have their fair share. They struggled, they this and that, and they stuck to it. And I commend them for reaping. Because what they're showing people is that God can do it for them. He could do it for you. Hence the name, page of the name. He does not categorize people's capability. What he looks at is, what do you want to do? Remember, we give ourselves to him. What do you want to do? If you want to live this type of life, then what are you doing to work towards it? But if you just want to live this type of life, that's fine. That's fine. But there's still going to be tests and challenges that comes with it if you want that type of security to where you're like, okay, life might not be perfect, but we're going to be all right because we have God, we have the teachings, we have the wisdom and knowledge necessary to hold it down. So that's all for today. I hope this video has been a blessing. If you feel led to like, share, subscribe, definitely do so. And of course, I'm going to keep you all updated on exactly what's going on. I am pushing this food content like crazy, so I am just hoping and praying that one day God blows it up, because right now it's getting really great numbers. And so I hope the same thing for you all. If y'all are all working towards something, no matter what it is, it could be anything, keep going, because one day you will have victory and you'll be able to continue forward to what's next for you in life. So again, have a great weekend, and until next time.